Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you're having a wonderful week. All right, it looks like it's locked down all around globally due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Officially in South Africa, we have started our lockdown from Thursday the 26th. But for me, it should be an opportunity for those that want to learn, because the markets have not stopped. The markets are trending. In fact, there's quite significant market moves than usual during this period. Okay, so it is a very good time to be looking at the markets, and I've got a lot of time to be looking at the charts, and that's what I'm going to be doing during the lockdown period. So we're going to be in lockdown for the next 21 days in South Africa. So hopefully that is all that we need to flatten the curve. It's actually very important to do that so that the healthcare system can be able to manage that. So let's get back to our analysis. Let's look at our YouTube, at my channel here. If you look at my channel here, you're going to find my details. You're going to find details about the website as well. We've got a website here. If you want more information about our services, you can go onto the website here. There is the link. You can click onto the link. It will take you straight to our website. That is elliottwave-principle.com. If you're typing it up, make sure there's a dash between the Elliott Wave and the dash there. Then you'll find information about what we do there. Right. You will also find the timestamp. So this makes it easy if you not interested in all these pairs. I mean, we go through about 50 pairs during this webinar, so that's quite a lot. I don't think everybody is interested in all the pairs. So you can just look at the specific pairs that you're interested in, and that is what you can do there. All right, so that is what you'll find under the description of all the videos. You can check them out there. All right, so let's get started with this week's analysis. So what is it like trading during this period? The markets have been trading quite a bit, and it is actually very risky. For example, before we even start, I'm just going to get my annotation tool. Before we start, if you look at pound US dollar, just get my annotation tool out here. Look at pound US dollar, what has happened here. I'm going to show you the daily chart that we had on pound US dollar, as well as the lower time frame chart. I want to show you why it is very risky, and you need to be careful even when the market is trending like this during this time. So looking at pound US dollar, let's have a look at what the structure was here on the website. I'm going to look it up on Strike. So we had this daily forecast on pound US dollar, looking for the downside. Let's get to, let me show you this chart here. So this is a chart that was sent out last week before the move, the current move that you see to the upside. So this is the pound US dollar chart. So this is a bit of a recap and to show you why it is important to be extra careful during this time, because the markets are moving with very big moves, right? So let's have a look at this one here. This is a pound US dollar. Let's open it up. Right, so this is pound US dollar. Got it open there. It's gonna come up now. So this is pound US dollar. This is what we forecasted. We forecasted a move here to the downside. So if you look at this, we forecasted a move to the downside and we were looking for the reversal. So currently the move to the upside is at 1,000 pips. Right, so this does not mean that I have traded this 1,000 pips to the upside. And in fact, I did not. And I'll show you why I didn't, and that this coming to the point where why I'm saying you need to be careful. If we go to the site, I was still looking for this one to be making 1, 2, 3. I was still waiting for a wave 4 here and the last move to the downside before I could trade this move to the upside. So there's over 2,000 pips to the upside. Now we've missed about 1,000 pips to the upside on this move, but that is okay. So because what we're not trying to do here is to pick the bottoms. We're trying to ride the trend. Now in this case, you do two things. You've got the sequence and then you've got the structure. So in terms of the sequence is the whole things, the whole cycle. As far as the sequence was concerned, we wanted it to get to the last move. We wanted to count the 5 waves here before we got to the reversal. So let's have a look at what it looked like on the real chart here. Now, if you look at the real chart, guys, please just ignore the chart box. If you look at the real chart, so this is why we still wanted to get a move to the upside. Initially, and this is what I showed last week as well, we were looking at this structure. Let's show it in yellow. So we're just looking at this structure, 3 waves up and a pullback and a move to the upside. We were looking for this move to the downside. One more move to the downside and we would have gotten this move to the upside. Now, granted, we didn't get this 1,000 pips. This is actually 1,000 pips to the upside. Now, that is not a problem. The important thing is that now that the trend is confirmed, how do you ride it? And that is what we're going to try and do here. So we're able to count the number of waves. We can confirm that there's been a reversal here. Now we want to ride the trend. So we're looking at this one as the first move here. So 1, 2, and internally here, we've started with the purple degree here that you see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be looking for the 5, and then we'll be looking for the pullback after this, and then a move to the upside. Right, so what is important here is if you had taken this sell setup looking for the wave 5 here without a stop loss, you would have been 1,000 pips up. It's unlike when you're trading this during these corrective structures like this. If you're trading during corrective structures like this, you can somewhat get away with it if you keep holding the trades. Let's just have a look at this one here. Let's get it to load. Because the range here is simply between these two price. You're ranging between these two price structures here. So you could somewhat get away with it and be able to get out with maybe a smaller loss or no loss at all, because this is ranging. But when it comes to this and you lose a trade like this and it goes against you 1,000 pips, that's quite risky. So that's why we need to employ the strategy to the pip, and you need to apply your risk management properly, because you're not going to be able to hold for 1,000 pips. In fact, you should be taking it. You should put in a stop loss when you take a trade to any direction. A stop loss in the take profit area. Now, so this is a pound US dollar. So we'll be looking at pound US dollar for upside in the coming week, and the trade of the week. Make note and check as we go with the analysis. We'll be looking at pound CAD. Pound CAD is a very nice trade that we'll be looking at in the next week, right? So we'll be looking at that one. So make note of that one. It's a very important trade for the next week. So go and click on to pound CAD as soon as the timestamps are loaded, and you'll be able to see that setup there. Now let's go straight into the analysis. We're going to start with Bitcoin. Before that, our next course, so far no changes, is still going to be the 14th of April. You can purchase the course on our website. You can go under subscriptions, then you'll find more details about the course. If you go there, there's a number of 4 courses that you can find there. So the one that's right at the top, that includes everything, including 12 months mentorship, and then you can go look at the details for the rest. So our live course is going to be from the 14th of April. Okay, so you can, just a second. So that's where you'll find the details on the website. Let's get started now with this week's analysis, and I'm going to go straight into the website. We're going to start with the cryptocurrencies, and I'm going to be looking at our analysis here on the cryptos. So let's have a look. I'm going to go into detail with Bitcoin, and for the rest, we are going to look at the lower time frames. So let's look at Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, let's look at the daily chart. There are 2 things that can happen here. If you look at Bitcoin, we're initially looking at, this is still a possibility. Look at the whole structure. This is the last move the move that ended in 2018, the impulsive move that ended in 2018. So from 2018 to date, we have just been in a corrective structure. So this is the corrective structure that we've been in for the last 2 years almost. Okay, so now let's look at the internal structure and look at the super cycle degree here. If you look at the super cycle, that is the purple degree, we're looking at this, and we're looking at this, and we're looking at this. Now we are currently, we've made this 3-way structure in the cycle degree. That is A with the diagonal there. We started with a 5-wave move, pullback, and a 5-wave move. So it's a diagonal, pullback in 3 waves, and impulse, right? So that is ABC structure, and we're looking for another ABC structure. Okay, let me use a different color there so we can identify it. We've got 1, follow the white, 2, 3 there, 1, 2, and we'll be looking for this one to come up here. So there's a possibility that this move can still come down as we have forecasted there. How is it going to come down? But before we look at that, let's look at the complete structure. If we get that, then we'll be looking for the last 3-wave move. And that is why you've got this W, which is representing the white here, the 3 waves in white. And then you've got the X, that will be the whole 3 waves there. 1, 2, 3, that is your X. 1, 2, 3, that will be your Z in purple here. So that will be the move. So if we get to this level, so we can still be sideways for quite some time on Bitcoin. Now let's have a look here. Now we are currently here looking to complete the B, the white B here. This is your white A, this white A here, and the B here. So we're looking at that as 3 waves, and this will be our 3 waves here. So these 3 waves here, as you do this in yellow, this is 3 waves, WXY. 3 waves there, WXY, 3 waves here. We are here, we haven't got the last move to the downside. Okay, so we'll be looking for this to drop. Let's see if we're gonna get that drop. If we don't get that drop, that means this is not a 3-wave move, but rather a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonal A, B, C. And this move would have ended here, and we're not going to get one more down. We're just going to go from current levels. So let's have a look at Bitcoin in the lower degree. So in the lower degree, we want to see, are we dropping here or are we going straight up? Let's have a look. Let's go to the lower time frame. We're going to look at the 4-hour. Let's look at the 4-hour. Now, this was the forecast in the week. We were looking for this to drop. As you have seen, we've already dropped up to this level. We're around this level on Bitcoin. We're still looking for it to drop up to that level. Okay, so let's have a look in the 1 hour. The 1 hour will be a lot clearer than this. On the 1 hour, this is when we had the setup for the downside. This was on the 26th. So the 26th was a Thursday. So we're looking for this one to drop. We're already coming down with this move. So we're looking for it to take this level. There's a possibility that we have got these 3 waves up here, and we're looking for these 3 waves back, which should then get us a move to the upside again. This will still be corrective. If we get this, we could be looking for a move to the upside, and that move can actually go all the way. Okay, so let's first look at this structure. Look at what we get here. If we start getting a bounce here, we're going to be trading this move on Bitcoin. And that is the same structure on all the cryptocurrencies. That's how they've played out so far. Let's just have a look at the live or the current Bitcoin chart. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart. That is Bitcoin on the 1 hour. As you can see, we've already made that drop that was forecasted. We've got that drop. Now it's looking like it's making another corrective structure. We're looking for it to get to this level. So if we get to this level, we'll be looking for upside there. That is Bitcoin. Let's look at the rest of the structures. Let's go to Ethereum. Now Ethereum, if you look at Ethereum as well, we've already made this move to the downside. That is what it looks like on the live Ethereum chart, the current Ethereum chart. We've already made that drop, same as Bitcoin. As you can see, we've already made the drop from here. We're coming down here. It's making another correction, so we're possibly going to make another move. I think only just up to this level. Only up to this level, so we'll be watching it up to that level. That is Ethereum, and let's look at Litecoin on the 1 hour. The same. You can see they all had the same structures, and then they dropped like that. Let's have a look at Litecoin. Litecoin. Let's have a look. That is Litecoin has dropped from this level. Just a bit of a move here. It is still correcting like this. Looks like we're still going to make another drop to the downside. We're only going to be looking for it to come down to this level. So from that level, we're looking for another move to the upside on all the cryptocurrencies. Ripple did drop just slightly, but made what looked like an impulse, but that move is not an impulse. It's actually corrective. Okay, so this is Litecoin. So Litecoin, we focused that it's going to make a drop from here. We've got that drop, and now we're looking for this one to come down to this level. Let's just have a look at what it looks like on as forecasted on the site on the 1 hour on Ripple. So we were looking for this one to drop like this, just made a small drop and made like a structure like this. We still want it to come down. Let's have a look at the Litecoin chart there. So I've already adjusted here. So this B was here, has actually made just a slight move to the downside. This one has actually not played out. As we focused, it has actually come and tagged the top here. So now we're looking for this move as a corrective structure. Let's switch everything off there. Has tagged this top and made this reversal here. And after the reversal, we see what looks like a corrective structure. So let's see if we're gonna see a drop here back to this level. Now, if we get that to that level, it's a 1, 2, 3 up, it's a 1, 2, 3 back. Then we'll look for another 3 up here, which will be a double correction there like that. Now, if this is all a double correction on all the cryptos, we'll be looking at this structure. Okay, we'll be looking at this structure. All right. So that is Ripple, and that is how we're going to be looking at the cryptos in the next coming week. All right, Sepo is talking about LD. Which one is LD? We don't really have time to go through other pairs, otherwise it's gonna, the webinar is gonna be overextended. So let's go now into the indices. Let's look at the indices. We'll start with the S&P 500. Let's look at the S&P 500. Let's show the structure here, show the 4 hour. All right, so the 4 hour on the S&P 500, we see that pullback. See the lower degree was not shown here. So this is actually an A here, and a B move here, and a C here. So it's 1, 2, 3 waves. So we're expecting a double correction because this is too sharp. So that's the reason why we're expecting a double correction here. So something like this, we're going to be in a corrective structure here. We're going to make another move back, at least back to the 50% or the 60%. Currently, we are at about 38% retracement. So we'll make another corrective structure here and go up to the 50, 61% of this move before any reaction lower. So that's what we're going to be looking at on the S&P 500. We should stay here a couple of days and then make a move to the upside, only up to the 61%. That is the S&P 500 will be same as the Dow, only that the Dow is in a different degree. It's in the primary blue degree. So in the primary blue degree, we're looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 down here. So that's why this is an A, B, C structure. So this will be a 1, 2, 3, 4 intermediate degree like that. Okay. Let me actually put it as it should be with the trading view annotations. Put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Just do it quickly. Don't know why it's not showing in this time frame. 3, 4. This pullback, there's a pullback here, and that is a 5. Okay, so that is in the yellow degree. Let's fix that quickly. Intermediate degree sorted. That is the structure that we're looking for. That is the last move here. Let's move the waves there. We don't want to see that. Okay, so that is what we're looking at on the Dow. Same as the S&P 500, we're looking for a bit of a corrective structure here and a continuation to the upside. This on the 4 hour. So maybe just a couple of days, a couple of trading sessions before we make a move to the upside. Not a reversal yet, just the continuation of the correction. NASDAQ is similar. So the NASDAQ is in the intermediate degree here. So we'll be looking for this one to start making a corrective structure. We've already started making a move in 3 waves here. So this will be here. We should see something like this. A corrective structure here in the lower degree. We should see something like this here. That will be another A, B, see in this minor degree. So that's what we're looking at. Simply looking for a corrective structure here. Just need to take this off. Take this off. So that is the structure that we're looking at. We've made 1, 2, 3 waves to the downside with the ABC in red, and we're like expecting the same pullback in the red ABC degree there. 1, 2, 3. Right. So that's what we're looking for. So what you need to look out for is this corrective structure for upside. Short-term upside on the NASDAQ. UK 100. Now the UK 100, let's go to the site and just so we can see this forecast here on the daily. Let's go to the indices and look at this. Let's show some of these charts. Right, so the UK 100, this is what we looked at on the daily. Let's look at it on the weekly. I'm going to show you something. This is already updated. I want to show you before the update. UK 100, the daily. I want to see the weekly on the UK 100. Right, so this is the UK 100. If you remember what we saw here, we saw these 3 waves coming down here. Coming up here, 1, 2, 3. So we had the first move to the downside. That it was the first week of March when we started having these huge market moves. What looked like a crash. We were here, and we expected that we're going to have a 3-wave corrective structure here like that. So that's what we have here. So now we're expecting a bit of a pullback. That's why we already have this pullback here. That pullback is only the B wave in white. We're only looking for that B wave. The pullback that you see currently on the UK 100 is this corrective structure. So this will still continue lower. Okay, we'll still continue lower because we're looking at this bigger structure here. And the bigger structure here is this one. 1, 2, 3. So this will only be the first part of this corrective structure. And we're going to have something like this. I'm out of space there. So that is the structure that we'll be looking at. Right, so pull back on the UK 100 that you see now, that is that corrective structure in white. So as you can see, we're still going to look for that to come to the downside. This should actually be an ABC structure here. Let's get on ABC in blue. Let's fix it up. A, B, C, blue primary. Let's fix it quickly. You will not be able to do this so quickly with MT4. MT4 is very slow. So with TradingView, everything is pre-populated. So it's easy to do this. Right, so let's just clean this up here. So that's what we're looking at here. So this is the corrective structure. We could be having another corrective structure here and then move to the upside before we get that downside. So basically this is a corrective structure that you saw in that higher degree. That is a UK 100. You're looking for correction and then a bit of upside. The DAX is similar. Let's go to the side again. Look at the DAX on the daily. So the DAX, what you see here is an expanding flat. 1, 2, 3. We've made this move. Is this the move? Is this the end of the corrective structure on the DAX? So let's have a look here. We're getting this pullback currently. We should see this coming back up here. If this come back down here, that means this is not an impulsive move, but rather a WXY structure. It will be a WXY structure. Right, so this actually should have been an A in blue, but we'll fix that up. Those who know, a single wave structure is ABC. So this should actually be a ABC structure like that. So this is an impulsive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why you see a C there. So we're looking for the pullback. We've already got this one. Now we're looking for this one. And then a bit of upside here. We'll make a decision whether this is going to go all the way or it's going to make another double correction. Right, so that is the DAX, short-term up here. Right, so the NIKKEI, again on the side, let's look at the NIKKEI. NIKKEI also has made what looks like a very nice expanding flat. This also should be an ABC structure. There's a reason why it should be an ABC structure and not a WXY. So it's an ABC structure expanding flat. If you go to the webinar on this date here. That's I can't really see the date here. Before we broke to the downside here, we were looking at this as an expanding flat, just like this, except we were looking for this move to come down, not as impulsive, but rather as three waves. But either way, we've come down to that level. So whether we look at it as an ABC structure or WXY structure has a bearing on the entry. Okay, so if it's three waves, your entry is going to be there. And if it's five waves, it will depend on where you are in the structure. You're going to have a number of entries. We're going to have 5 entries. But it's important to know which one is 5, which one is 3. So the number of waves are very important when you're looking at this. And it is very important to identify them correctly. So this is the Nikkei. We're looking for this one to correct and a move to the upside. All right, so those are the crypto currencies and the indices. Now let's go into the major pairs. Excuse these lines here. This is when we're doing the different time frames. So these lines belong to other time frames. Now let's look at the US dollar pairs. Oh, I think I've missed the Nifty. Let's have a look at the Nifty. I don't have the Nifty listed on the site, but we just look at it for those that are interested in it. So the Nifty as well, we are looking for a pullback. So the indices are showing these pullbacks. So we should see corrective structures after this, and then one more up. After this up, we'll decide which direction to take from there. So we've got enough data to tell us what the next immediate move is from the indices. Right, so let's look at the US dollar pairs. Let's start with the Euro US dollar. Now, Euro US dollar is obviously inversely correlated to the DXY, that is the dollar index. We'll look at that. So let's have a look here at the US dollar, Euro US dollar. Let's look at the US dollar pairs. I'm not going to go through all of them on the site. I'm just going to show you US dollar, Euro US dollar, as well as pound US dollar, because those are significant ones. Right, so Euro US dollar on the daily. Now we were looking at this one to have made a complete correction and starting the move all the way down. So yeah, last week we were looking at this to be the A, B, and the C. Obviously, this is clearly too small when you compare it to that, and it actually makes sense that we've made this move to the downside and then we're making a reversal. So that we will look at as a double corrective structure. So this will be a single corrective structure ABC. Now it looks like we're making a X correction here, which can be anything like this before we come down. Now I need to show you why I'm looking at that structure like that. I'm going to show it on the chart itself, so we can switch off all the labelings and put it on the daily. Let's put it on the daily here, so we can see what we're going to have here. So the structure that we want to look at is right here at the bottom, and why it can be like that. So this is a single wave corrective structure. Let's show it in red because it's a lower degree. 1, 2, 3. That is ABC in the lower degree. Single flat correction. That is 3 up, 3 down, and 5 up. Right? So we've got that identified. Fine. Now we're looking at this move. This is the move to the downside now. Now that is only a single impulse, so that means that corrective structure is still in the making. So we could get something like that. That will be the X in the middle there. Now any 3 waves there to the upside will then complete the structure. So remember, this is a structure that is being corrected. Now we're going to have these 3 waves, single wave correction to the upside, 3W, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. X. Now this will be a decent size corrective structure for this move if we're going to expect a move that is going to go all the way to the downside like this one. So currently we've made this impulsive move. We're going to wait for this corrective structure. We'll be targeting the previous high. So we are not done with this corrective structure. It is still going sideways. As you can see, we came down here. Now we've made a pulsing move. Now, what is the next immediate move that we'll be looking for? We're looking for pullbacks. So even a shallow pullback, you should be able to enter here because this is going to go up less as an impulse. All right, so that is Euro US dollar. The DXY is the opposite of what I've just shown you here. So with the DXY, it is the same structure. Now with the DXY, this is the corrective structure. That is the 1, 2, 3. It's a W here. This is a W here. The corrective structure ends here. This is the move. The fifth wave ends here. Let me show you the labeling there, so it doesn't get confusing. So this is the end of the diagonal there. Show it there. As you can see, that is where the diagonal ended with the wave 5 here. Now what you're seeing here is a 1, 2, 3 waves to the downside that I'm calling W now, X, and then the Y here. So I've only shown this one as a single corrective structure. It could be a double, okay? It could be a double, something like this. And then we get this as an X. Same as we've shown with the Euro US dollar. So that will be W, that will be X, that will be another 3 waves down here as a Y before we get any continuation to the downside. So that means we are still going to be sideways for quite some time. I feel like I've shown you this in a messy way. So let's show again the same way that I've shown you on Euro US dollar what this structure is going to look like. Let's do this with straight lines. So we start with this one here, A, B, C, that is your W in yellow. Now we're looking for this one to be, let's show a different color now. 1, 2, even if it's going to be 3 waves, I'm just showing this structure here, 3 here, and then lastly, we're going to expect another corrective structure. Any 3 waves, let's show it to the same color. Any 3 waves here, 1, 2, 3, whether it's a zigzag or a flat, that's okay. Then it will be a complete W, X, Y, then we get this move, which is this one. So that move will be the A, and that will be your B here. And then a move to the upside. So only when this corrective structure is done, we'll be looking, will we look for this move to the upside. So we're still going to be around this area for quite some time, and the market is moving with big moves. I mean, if you look at this one here, let's just have a look here, get off the screen here. If you look at this move here, let's go back to Euro. I'm spending a bit of time here because these are important setups for the next week. If you look at the Euro, this move, we got this move. This is the move that we traded from right at the bottom. If you remember a couple of weeks back, this was a 700 pip move. The next one was almost 900 pip move. We've now made 500 pip move. Now, before that, Euro US dollar would never made, was never moving with such big moves. I mean, look at this. This is just impulse all the way. Impulse, impulse, and an impulse. So it becomes very risky to trade this because once you get a trade wrong here, it never waits for you. It just goes against you like that. So here, as you can see, these are short moves here, 200 pips there, 200 pips there, 200 pips there, and you never really got those big moves. So now, because of whatever is happening in the market or in the world right now, this is how the market is moving with these big moves like this. So as I said in the beginning, take extra precautions when you take this trade. So let's go to the 1 hour. The 1 hour. We've already made 5 waves up. You'll be looking for a pullback. If you get a pullback here, you'll be looking to ride the trend. So you can take this even on the 1 hour, because I don't foresee a deeper pullback after this. That is Euro US dollar. I don't think it gets any more detail than that. Now the interesting one is pound US dollar. Look at pound US dollar, the weekly chart here. So the weekly chart on pound US dollar that we have been looking at for a while is this one here. So we looked at this one to come drop at this level. It missed this by a mere few pips and started making this move to the upside. But we have been looking the whole time, and this does not matter that it does not matter that we've missed this part of the move. We have been looking at this as a expanding flat from right at the top here. But initially we looked at this, and this is how the puzzle, you keep playing the pieces of the puzzles until you get a trade. 1, 2, we're looking for this one to have made 3 waves here, and for this to come and make this structure. 1, 2, this was the first expanding flat in this lower degree. We're looking for this structure It is still the same ABC structure, still falls within the same sequence. The only difference is that this is a zigzag, and the current structure that is now formed on pound US dollar is a flat. We were looking for a zigzag initially, but it went and made a flat, but it's still within the cycle, within the same degree ABC. Now we're making this move to the upside, and we'll be looking for it to go to the upside like that. So we're still expecting a further 1,000 pips, almost 1,000 pips. We'll check the exact number of pips from current levels on this one, as you can see here. That is how we're looking at pound US dollar. If you look at the lower degrees here, we're looking for this one to make one more down before we make a move to the upside. Just don't have it on the side now because we've already updated. But you would have seen that on pound US dollar on the 4-hour, we're looking for this one here. We're looking for this one to be a wave 4 and one more down before we get this. Now we've already made, it was already gone up 1,000 pips. So it does not matter if you miss out 1,000 pips. It's not the same as being 1,000 pips in the negative. So you now know the trend is confirmed. So you can just ride the trend. Our indicator will tell you when to ride the trend. So that's what we're going to be looking at in the week in our group. So just to look for the perfect entries for this. All right, so that is a pound US dollar. We're looking for this one. We've already started with this move here. Bigger one, we should see here. Smaller one, I've just shown one line, but actually here, we should have something like this. 3 waves there, and then the last wave here to the upside. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Right, continuation to the upside on pound US dollar. Right, the rest is US dollar CAD. We're looking for a pullback in 3 waves. We'll be looking for a pullback in 3 waves. Let's get this one off here. Switch it off. Right, US dollar CAD, we've made 3 waves down. So we'll be looking for another pullback here for another 3 waves to the downside. So this is a corrective structure to the downside. So look for a pullback and then downside. So the euro is upside. Obviously, US dollar CAD will be downside if the CAD is not that strong. So you're looking for that continuation to the downside. Same as US dollar CHF. US dollar CHF, you're looking for this one to continue lower. I started a move to the downside in 5 waves. We'll be looking for this one and a pullback and continuation lower. Right, that is a US dollar CHF. Now AUD will be following Euro US dollar. We've started a move to the upside. Last week, we were looking at this one to be making the last wave 4 as well. But we can now see that it looks like it's making a leading diagonal. This is what it looked like last week. We got this small move here, but it made a bounce again. So now we can see that this is actually not going to go all the way down. We're going to get a pullback here, and then we're going to get continuation to the upside. So it should follow Euro US dollar. This just means weakness on Euro US dollar. Sorry, weakness of the US dollar in the next coming sessions. This is why you see the DXY is looking like this. We've already made a pulsing move to the downside. It's a corrective structure A. If we see a pullback on the DXY, we're just looking for downside here. Okay, so the DXY is weak in the next coming sessions. That was Audi New Zealand. Now looking at the New Zealand, we've also started a move to the upside in 5 waves. Similar, we're looking for the wave 4 here, wave 5 before we move to the upside. But all that does not matter. What matters now is that we've got a trend confirmed, and the indicator is confirming that we've got a trend reversal here, even if it's not all the way up here. So just here will be quite a significant number of pips. It's about 500 pips from current levels. So we'll be waiting for a pullback and then upside. May not give you deeper pullbacks, may just give you shallow pullbacks like these ones, because this is an impulse. It's not going up in 3 waves, so it's going impulsively. That is New Zealand US dollar. US dollar ZAR, another opportunity for a buy here, confirming further upside. I'm just looking at the 1 hour here. Look for it to go now and break the 18 here again. To break the 18 again. This is the all-time highs on the US dollar ZAR. So this is the weakest that the rand has ever been, the South African rand has ever been against the US dollar. Right, so let's see, this could possibly come and break the top here and make a bit of a pullback, since the US dollar is going to be a bit weak in the next coming sessions. Now let's look at the yen pairs. The yen pairs are looking very interesting. Now pound yen is one of those trades to look out for in the next coming sessions because the trend is confirmed as reversed, and this is the reason why. Let's have a look at pound yen on the side. Let's look at pound on the yen pairs. Pound yen, the weekly, see why we're looking for that move. Let's look at it on the weekly. Weekly is not so clear. I'll go to the daily. So we have always been looking for this to make a move down here and make a move back here, that ABC structure. So the weekly chart has not changed. Maybe the daily in terms of how far this came down here. Now we've seen this reversal. Also moved almost 1,000 pips from about 122, more than 1,200 pips from the low. So let's have a look at pound yen here. So we're looking for this move to the upside. We're already here. Has already made a big reversal form around 122 here. This is the move that we're currently in, so we'll be looking for it to take this 156. Those who've been watching my webinars for a while will remember that I was looking for 156 from when we made this here. Why was I looking for 156? I was looking for this. Why was I looking for this? It's exactly the same thing that I'm still looking for now. It is this. Okay, so you get these moves, you get the short moves, and then you have to get the confirmation to get there for the trade to eventually play out. And that doesn't mean that you're not trading in the meantime, because from here we were trading this one to the not to the downside, we traded this one to the upside. We didn't trade the downside, and this is the reason why I didn't trade the downside. So this was the upside that we were trading. We didn't trade the downside because I was expecting the downside to be this to just be the corrective structure to complete the very same path. So you will miss some because of your analysis. So normally, if I have focused it and it does not play out the way I was expecting, I don't trade it because I don't know what it's doing. So only when I am sure what it's doing, like it is now, then I'll be able to trade this move to the upside, because we can clearly see that this is the move to the upside now, and that is the structure that we'll be looking at now. Right, so that is unfortunately part of trading. You win some, you lose some, and some you let go. All right, so this is the move to the upside. We've started the pulsing move to the upside, continuation to the upside. Okay, we'll be looking for continuation to the upside. Let's look at the daily chart as well on this one so we can get a better understanding of what this is doing. So this is the daily. So this is what you look at. This is the detail of the daily. That is your W, that is your X. That is now completed. Look where this has reversed, exactly here. We've had this line drawn for a while, so we've been looking for this to come down to this line here and reverse and make the same structure. Even when we were here, we're still looking for this one to come do this. And now we've finally touched this here. This is almost certain that we're going to make a move to the upside, but there's not some such thing as certain in the market. All we can say now is that the structure is clearer than it has ever been since this move that has been coming down here. So we'll be looking for this move to the upside. All right, so that is a pound yen, US dollar JPY pulling back. Let's have a look. I'll show you on the side. US dollar JPY on the daily. We're making this pullback here. One should see 3 waves down here before we make a move to the upside, because the weekly on US dollar JPY is showing us that we should be going all the way up. So this is the weekly on US dollar JPY. We should be looking for this pullback and making a move back to this level. So that is the structure that we're looking at on US dollar JPY. We're currently making a move to the downside here, and we want this one here. So let's have a look at US dollar JPY in the lower degree. We've made that is the move here. We're looking for a pullback, and that is the pullback before we make any move to the upside. Okay, so let's keep an eye on this one for a pullback. If we get a pullback, we can trade this, and then when this is done, we can then trade to the upside. That is US dollar JPY. Euro. So let's have a look at Euro and CHF. Are quite interesting right now. Looks like there's a chance for one more up, but that one more up does not mean that this is going. May just be the end of the corrective structure. If you look at the charts on the side, they are very clear. Euro yen, if you look at Euro yen on the 4-hour, let's look at the daily. Euro yen on the daily. Euro yen on the daily, the latest update. So here it is. So euro, when we were here, we expected it to go up to 120. Let's just passed up 120 and we are now at this level. Now it looks like we're still going to make a bit of a move to come down here. Why are we looking for that? Because this is a clear corrective structure. It's 3 up, 3 down. We've made 3 up here, up to this level. Is this now the end? Is this the corrective structure that's going to take us down? Let's see. We need to see the confirmation here. Let's look at the euro in the lower degree. Lower degree is showing a bit of upside after these 3 waves. Are we going to get this one to come down up here? That will be a WXYXZ for this part, and this will be a 3 up here. 1, 2, 3 up there. Let's do it cleanly. 1, 2, 3 there. Let's switch off. And a X here. 1, 2, 3. Then there will be a W, X, and a Y. Either the Y is going to come here or the Y is going to end here. How are we going to know if the Y ended here? If we start getting a corrective structure here, if we start getting a corrective structure, if this starts playing out as a corrective structure, we're coming down. Yeah, you'll see that Audi and New Zealand are starting. I've already made a structure like this. We'll see that when we get to New Zealand and Audi. So let's have a look. This may not even go up here. We may just come down here like that. So that will mean that our Y has ended here. That makes more sense to have a Y here because this is 3 up, 3 back, and 3 up. Then we start to move to the downside. So you don't trade this until you get a confirmation. Especially if you get a corrective structure, then that's when you're going to be trading it like that. That is euro. Don't do anything for now. Chief is similar. So Chief also on the yen pairs. Let's have a look on the 1 hour. So Chief also, we're looking for it to drop from current levels. It has come down correctively. Is this going to make one more up, or are we now going to make a move to the downside? If we're going to make a move to the downside, even if it has come down correctly, we need to see this. We need to see that pull back like that. Then we're going to start looking for downside. Let's have a look at the actual structure right now. It's similar to the euro. This is Chief. You see there's 3 up here. There's 3 up down here. This is 3 up so far. W, X, Y. Clear structure. Now, if it makes one more up, it changes the structure slightly. Then it becomes this becomes a WXY, XZ. Is that what we're going to get, or is this just going to make a move to the downside, or is it going to make a corrective structure like this? If it does like this, then we're looking for the downside. So we need to have a look at this in the coming sessions. We're not just going to rush into it. If we see it breaking out here, we're going to look for a buy setup for just short move to the upside before coming down. Now, Audi on the 1 hour, on the other hand, has already shown that we've got a corrective structure. So the Audi is showing weakness. We've got 1, 2, 3 up. We've got this one as a pullback after the 3 waves. Now this is corrective on Audi. Is this now what we're going to look out for to the downside? Right, so it looks like there's going to be more weakness, further weakness on the Audi. Okay, so we're looking for more weakness on the Audi, especially Audi yen. So this makes sense because US dollar yen is still downside, so all the yen pairs should follow US dollar yen. So let's watch this one for downside. Let's just have a look here on the side where the forecast was here on this one. So we've forecasted that move to the downside. As you can see from right at the top, we made this. Now the corrective structure is this one here. Now what we're waiting for is to see that this is going to confirm the structure for downside, and the indicator confirms for downside, then we'll be looking for that trade. Right, the next one here will be New Zealand. New Zealand is the same. We're looking for that. We're going to get this one here. Let's see how this one is playing out so far. Let's look at New Zealand yen. So New Zealand yen, is this a corrective structure? We've made this here. We're looking for it to come down from the top. Is this now a corrective structure? This is too deep for it to come down though. But let's see. If we get confirmation and this breaks lower than this, then we'll be looking for this one to do that. And that's the move that we're going to be looking at. That is New Zealand yen. CAD yen, similar. has made also a corrective structure, what looks like a corrective structure. 3 up, 3 back, 3 up. Now we're coming down with this one. It's coming down in 3 waves here as well, but there's a bit of a pulsing move here. We can see a corrective structure here. If it makes a corrective structure like this, we'll be looking for this. Right, so that is CAD yen. Let's look at silver and gold. Silver, look for more upsides. This should go with the weak US dollar. Look for more upside here. Gold, I'll show you now why gold. We're expecting that move to continue higher. Continuation to the upside here. Okay, so we are looking on gold on the 1 hour. This as a corrective structure. 1, 2, 3. Right, so if you remember, after this corrective structure played out, I was expecting that I was going to have a deeper corrective structure here, and I was going to get continuation to the downside to get WXY structure before continuation to the upside. So what has happened? Instead of the double that I was expecting, it has only made a single. So you will get confirmation of which one is making. So this one has made a single ABC structure, and we'll be expecting it to go and break the previous highs. Okay, why are we looking for it to break the previous highs? Let's go to the site here on the commodities, see if that's updated yet. It will be clearer why we're expecting that move. Let's see if we've got the daily on gold updated yet. So that is expanding flat on the daily. Let's look at it on the 4 hour, the update on the 4 hour. Yes, the 4 hour is updated. Now, if you look at the 4 hour, we have now made this expanding flat, and we're looking for this one. We're currently on this one here. We're currently on this move. This is why we're expecting continuation to the upside. If you look at this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this lower degree, but we've got the higher degree here. 1, that's 2 in yellow. That 1, 2, 3 in red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in red. Then you've got that yellow corrective structure, wave 4. 1, 2, 3. Now we're looking for the last wave 5. Looking for the last wave 5. Now it makes sense that we're expecting the yen pairs to go lower because they usually somewhat correlated to gold. But the correlation strength in the last couple of days has not been that strong, right? So even if pairs are correlated, you find that sometimes the correlation strength is not that strong, so they don't really go as you'd expect the correlated pairs to do. Let's just take this one off here. So that is silver and gold. And looking at oil now. So we're still looking for continuation upside to the upside on gold. Looking at oil, we are now almost at the end of, let's just have a look here, of the last wave 5. So we're looking at this one to be the wave 4 here on Brent crude. This will be the wave 3. This whole thing could be a wave 4. Everything that is playing out currently could be a wave 4 in blue. Can do this. Then we have that last wave 5 before any deeper pullback here. Okay, so that is what we're having here. So this wave 4 could be here. So we'll be looking for a bounce here. Why is this line significant here? That is the lower boundary of the weekly diagonal. We're looking at a weekly diagonal here. Let's look at that weekly diagonal. So the reason why you see this one having come down here is because we were here and we're looking for this one to come down here. We're still here. So this one, if it is a wave 5, it can break a little bit lower before we get a pullback. So that is normal for a diagonal. So we're still looking for more downside here. Maybe wave 4, break lower before any pullback on oil. Right, let's go through the pound pairs. Looking at the pound pairs. Now, pound chief is similar to pound US dollar. The structure is clear. Let's go to the site again. I'll show you what we'll be expecting. On the pound pairs, let's look at pound chief. Pound chief daily, let's look at the daily chart. Before we look at the daily chart, let's look at the weekly so you can see where we're coming from with this. This is pound chief weekly, similar to pound US dollar. So this, when it broke lower than this, when it broke lower than this, the only expected thing was that this can make an expanding flat, or that this is all the corrective structure. What do I mean by that? So this could have been all the corrective structure, which we were never expecting. We never had that analysis for this being the whole corrective structure and then downside. We never looked at it like that. So just like pound US dollar, we were looking at this to be W in blue, X, although we expected the X to just come back to this level and reverse. So now we have now come down to this level. Looks like we're going to have an expanding flat. It breaks the start here. Are we going to now see this one doing this? Let's see if we're going to get that move to the upside. So it has already made such a big impulse here, but that is good for confirmation of reversal. Now we start looking to ride the trend. We start looking to ride the trend. That is pound chief. Lower degree, let's look at pound chief 4 hour. So that is the move that has started there. So continuation to the upside, when you get a corrective structure, pull back, you ride the trend. There's still quite a big move to the upside on this one. Okay, so members have got details of this on the site. Exactly what it looks like in all time frames from weekly, daily, 4 hour and 1 hour. That is pound shift, and we're looking for continuation there. Pound Audi is a little bit tricky, but we're seeing continuation to the upside. So last week we saw, so we first expected that after this pulse move, this could be the end of that long-term corrective structure. But when it tagged the same top again with a corrective structure and came back down here, we saw that this was going to be a continuation pattern. Right now, same again here. We didn't pick the bottom here. We were looking now for this one to give us pullbacks, and we'll be trading into the upside. With a weak Australian dollar, this should make another retest of the previous highs here. Okay, so that is pound Audi, pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, I'm not expecting this to do this anymore. I'm expecting it to continue higher. Let's switch this off here. Why are we expecting it to go higher? That's because we've got a move down here. We've got this one is 1, 2, 3, and a move down here. So this has made an A, B, C structure, and looks like we're starting a move to the upside like this. Let's show this in purple. We're starting this 1, 2. Are we looking for this one to make a move to the upside? Okay, corrective structure and continuation higher. Because of this, we've made this, and now we're looking for this one to continue higher. This should obviously be correlated to pound Audi. On CAD, now this is the trade of the week. Let's go to the site. Trade of the week, pound CAD weekly. This is why this is the trade of the week, because of the clear structure. Now we've got this move. Let's follow this one in blue first. If you look at this structure, let's start with white. If you look at this structure, this is a 1, 2, 3. That is a blue structure, right? A blue structure. Follow the blue, WXY. Now, after that white structure, we'll be looking for this one to continue higher. Wherever this came from, should be continuing higher. Right now, there's this move here. There's a very clear expanding flat to complete this lower degree move here. That you see 3 up, that you see 3 down, that you see now 1, 2. Now we're looking for this 3. This is a weekly chart, guys. So if this is a weekly chart, this move is worth a couple of hundreds of pips. So from 174 to about 194, that is about 2,000 pips. 190, about 1,500 pips to the upside. Now the trick will be where to get in. You can see this move and still not be able to trade it if you don't have an entry strategy. We'll be looking to trade this 1,500 pips to the upside like that. But you don't take it all at once. There's a clear strategy that we should use. The indicator that will tell us if it's trade time to ride the trend. I have not traded this first move yet. I have not traded this first move yet. So that's what I'm going to be looking at going forward. I'll be looking for a clear pullback that's confirmed by this our indicator. Now, can you see that expanding flat that I showed you in the weekly? This is the expanding flat, 1, 2, 3. A single expanding flat with A, B, C structure. Now, any pullback here will be confirmed by the indicator and then upside. Now, I'm showing you a pullback that is sideways like this. This can be any structure. You just need to be able to identify when the structure has ended, when it's time to ride the trend. The risk will be if you see a pullback here, you buy, expecting it to go up, and then it does this. It comes down and you don't know how far it's going to come down, and you think it's going to go reverse. Okay, maybe somebody buys here because they're thinking you've got enough pullback, and then it keeps going down. Now, we have got a strategy that tells us when this is ready to go. Okay, we don't just buy because we're seeing a pullback. The indicator will tell us if we are right or wrong about this. Structurally, this looks very convincing for upside. We've got this move up here. We're looking for a move continuation to the upside. Let's have a look here at the structure. The structure also looks very clear. We've got the green degree, 3 waves, 1, 2, 3 up here. 1, 2, 3 in the green degree. Now we'll be looking for this. This is the trade of the week. We'll be looking to take it up to the 100% at 85. From current levels, it's about 1,100 pips. So this is the trade of the week. Now, if you're not in our group, you should have a strategy to enter this. In our group, we have got a strategy to ride this trend. So that is pound CAD, the trade of the week. Keep an eye on it. Let's just go down to the lower time frame on this one. Okay, so that is not a trade setup, that is still a forecast. So we're going to be looking for a trade setup that is an entry for us to ride this trend to the upside. Don't miss it, pound CAD. Okay. Rest. Let's now look at the euros. Looking at the euro pairs. Now, because we're expecting the pound pairs to make a move to the upside, we'll be expecting the euros to pull back. So this is euro pound. It is now euro pound. It has made exactly the same structure as the other pound pairs. The pairs where the pound pairs are the bases. Let's have a look at this here. Let's look at the weekly on euro pound. Now, if you look at euro pound on the weekly, we have made this move. We made this 1, we made this 2, this 3. This corrective structure, according to this, should have ended, and we should be looking for this one to make a continuation to the upside. So the likelihood here is that because we're still expecting upside, and this is inversely correlated to the pound, what should happen here is we see this one coming down here, making the 3 waves here, and then continuation to the upside. That is what we're going to be expecting here. Maybe sideways, while the pound pairs are pushing higher, this one should be pulling back down. Corrective structure downside while the pound pairs are pushing higher. So that's what we're looking at here. Let's go back to the lower time frame. So in the lower time frame, we'll be looking for another pullback for continuation lower. This is not going to go up like that. We're going to expect this to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and continue down. So it should be slow while the pound pairs are pushing higher. If you get something like this, you can sell euro pound. EURJPY, look for upside. So this has made this structure 1, 2, 3. Now it looks like we have started a move to the upside here. Is this the move to the upside? Are we going to getting this as a pullback? We've already started making a push to the upside like this. Corrective structures for upside. Right, so you need to see why EURJPY is like that on the daily. Let's look at the daily. All right, let's have a look here. See if we made a comment about euro US dollar. I will look at that towards the end. So this is EURJPY, 3 waves down. Now we've been talking about EURJPY making a base here and looking for a move to the upside. Is the current move now giving us upside here? So we've got this one as A, B, C to the upside, 1, 2, 3 back. Now as that move ended, are we going to make a move to the upside? Are we going to make another X blue and then a Y? So, but either way, we should be seeing at least a move back to the top here. Let's go to the lower time frame, 4 hour. Now in the 4 hour, on the 4 hour, we've made this pullback. Let's see this here. Let's see if we're going to get a move to the upside. So we don't know if this corrective structure or the base is complete as yet. So we'll be waiting for this one here. If we get confirmation for upside, we're going to take it at least back to that level. So if it does this, we're still within, we don't lose the trade. We're going to move it to break even at this level, provided we got a good entry there. Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand, we're expecting a bounce here. Expect a bounce to retest the top there, just like that. May not necessarily go all the way down like this, just like that. But for now, expect this bounce on Euro New Zealand. Euro Audi. Euro Audi, similar, expect this to bounce up here. So it could be the start of the move to the downside 1, 2. But for now, let's see this one bouncing to the top. So the next immediate move here is a bounce to the top from there. EUROCAD. Let's have a look at EUROCAD. Switch off there. Now EUROCAD, possibly make a move to downside here, a move like that. We get this as a corrective structure. Let's use a different color. A move down, correction in red, down, and then continuation to the upside. For now, we're looking for this one to come down, this piece there. Now let's look at the crosses. AUDJPY. AUDJPY. We're looking at this as a corrective structures, 3 waves up, 1 down here. This one could come up here like this. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back. If we get that and we start seeing a move to the upside here, we're going to get this one to do this. That is AUDJPY. If AUD New Zealand, AUD New Zealand has reached parity 2 weeks back. Now it has started a move from parity with a diagonal. So now this could be a 1, 2, and the 2 could be the zigzag. Let's see if we're going to get a move to the downside here, and then we start looking for this to the upside. So if we get this entry point here for 2, we'll be looking for this to go all the way up. Now this is the reason why we have been looking at this AUD New Zealand to do that. Let's look at the cross pairs. On the weekly, you'll see why we're expecting a big move from current levels on AUD New Zealand. This is the move that we're expecting. This is a big move on the weekly. This is what we are looking for. In this one, we have not made a significant move. Just from parity, we've just made 200 pips here out of the 1,150 pips that we're looking for here. So there's still about 1,000 pips left to go here if we get this entry. And with the pullback, will be about 1,100 pips to the upside. So that's what we're going to be looking for. So that, same as I've said, you can see the 1,100 pips. You can focus it, but the trick is to trade it. You can see it go without making a single cent out of it, because if you don't have a strategy on that. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. Maybe a pullback down here, and then a move up. We're going to hold it for a while. CADJPY. Let's look at CADJPY. CADJPY on the 1 hour. Looking for this one to come, take the top, the low here, this low here, and then upside. So it's 1, 2, 3 here. So it's an impulse, 5 waves up, correction. We're going to start seeing the move to the upside. Let's see here how this goes. So this on the 1 hour, so it should happen fairly quickly. Then we'll know fairly quickly whether we're getting this bounce here. Right, and the next one here. is AUDCAD. Let's look at AUDCAD and New Zealand CAD. We have made 3 waves up here, 1, 2, 3. Now we'll be looking for this one to be making 1. This one looks impulsive, so we should see something like this, and possibly another move to the upside like that. Then that will be a complete correction. Now let's see what happens when you take this top here. It could even break higher than that if we are making this structure. Then it can just go straight like that. Either way, it has to be confirmed here. That is AUDCAD, New Zealand CAD. Currently within this move to the upside. Should break here, take the top here, come back down here. Why are we looking for it to come back down? Because that will be the move up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that will be a corrective structure for further downside. That is New Zealand CAD, New Zealand CHF. New Zealand CHF, we should see this one doing that. Corrective structure here. One more up here. We'll confirm whether it's going to go all the way like that when we get to this level. And that's all I have for you today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the webinar. Trade responsibly. The market moving ferociously, and you need to take extra precautions, extra care when you trade. Make sure you do proper risk management and money management. Thank you for watching. Have a great week. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the site, to the channel. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.